You are watching the York College Law Department's main 2021 introductory PowerPoint. This applies to A-level law and Btec Applied Law. I'd just like to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch our introductory presentation, and that I do hope that you will take the time to watch our taster lesson too. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Claire Curtin and I'm a qualified solicitor. I worked as a qualified legal professional for many years before I qualified as a teacher. I've been teaching A-level law here at York College for over 13 years, and I'm also involved in the delivery and marking of the Btec Applied course, which we have run for the last 3 to 4 years. I work along with my colleague, Clive Broadley, who is also a qualified teacher and a qualified and very experienced barrister. Okay, so just before we go on to consider the next slides and why you might choose to study law, I thought I might just teach you one quick law thing. In England and Wales, we have two different types of lawyers. Lawyers are people who have studied law and are qualified to work within the law. The first type of lawyers we have are called solicitors. They work in law firms. They are usually the first point of contact for a person with a legal problem. Solicitors see the client, advise them, sort out how they're going to pay for the case, gather all of the evidence, communicate with the client, the opponents, any witnesses and any experts they're going to use. They also draft all the court papers and start the case in court. Solicitors are the people who try to resolve or sort out the case or get it ready for court or the trial. The second type of legal professionals we have in England and Wales are barristers. Barristers are the legal professionals or lawyers who get the case when it's going to court, although they might give some advice beforehand. They're the ones who wear the wigs and gowns. They present the client's case in court, they ask questions, they are experts in evidence. I hope that's interesting. So why study law? Well, this presentation will explore a number of reasons why a person might choose to study law, what skills and knowledge they might gain from it, and how it might be useful for them in the future in relation to their further studies, work, or just in everyday life. Here's just one thing you do need to note. In both A-level and Btec law, we study the laws that apply in England and Wales. Scotland has its own different legal system. You won't be studying anything like Judge Judy, although who doesn't love a bit of Judge Judy? It's not quite CSI, and we don't do anything like Suits. But what I do want you all to understand is that the law is a diverse, fascinating, interesting, if at times a little shocking, and very relevant subject for us all. Knowledge of the law can be beneficial and useful for a number of different university courses and jobs. It can be a door opener. It's very well respected, and as the quote says, a legal qualification is a stepping stone to whatever you want to do in life. Just look at the former Prime Ministers who have a legal background. Margaret Thatcher, former Conservative Prime Minister, Tony Blair, former Labour Prime Minister, and the current leader of the Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer, were all barristers before they went into politics. So then, let's have a quick think about the type of jobs where you might need to know about the law or might have to use the law in your work. So if we look at this slide, politicians, the government, local councils, they all deal with the law every day. Accountants have to know about the laws of tax, the laws of fraud, etc. Teachers have to know about the laws. They have to know about health and safety and education law. Builders, architects, surveyors, planners, estate agents have to know all the different laws which relate to property or land law, environmental matters, building regulations, planning regulations, etc. Everyone who at work holds information about a customer, client, patient has to follow data protection laws. Doctors, nurses, social workers and the probation service have to know about law. Those working in ICT and computing have to know the laws about not only data protection but computer misuse regulations, etc. Journalists have to know about what they can and cannot write about without the risk of being sued. Musicians, authors, artists all want to know about owning their own work, and the law of copyright and patents comes into their work. So we see that law is all around us in every aspect of our working and our normal everyday life. Now then, Year 11 students, I do appreciate that some of you might be getting a little bit bored of listening to me waffle on. Or perhaps you might think this is taking a bit too long and I need to get on to look at some presentations from other subjects. And if that is the case, please feel free to click on ahead and just have a quick glance at the different slides. Or if you think you've had enough already, just go straight to the lesson which we've got ready for you to taste, our Taste Today session, which is on the police's powers to stop and search a person in the street. It sets out what rights the police have to stop and search an individual, like perhaps you or one of your friends in the street, but what your rights are as an individual, what the police have to tell you, what procedure they have to follow, all of your rights. So it's entirely up to you. But if you do want to continue and listen to me, let's have a quick look at this PowerPoint. So there are a number of reasons and advantages and good points for studying A-level law. So I've setting them out now. Have a look, it's diverse and fascinating. We've already said it relates to lots of different degrees and jobs. You'll be surprised what you already know. Law is all around us, and in a global pandemic and with Brexit, you've seen law almost every day on the news. You'll learn about the interrelationship between morals, justice and society. You'll learn about how law influences our society, but also how society, how individuals can influence Parliament to make laws in this country and to change some of them. There are strong connections and links with other subjects: politics, history, business, economics, religion and ethics and sociology. But you need to know that law goes with any other subject whatsoever, and college can usually timetable everything. You can develop academic skills, and I do want to talk to you about this. Studying law at A-level may help you make an informed decision about future careers. You can decide whether you want to study law at university. Okay, so I do want to just give you a quick piece of advice about doing law A-level, particularly if you're interested in studying law at university or furthering a career in the future. You don't have to study many of the humanities subjects at A-level in order to do them at university. You can do degrees in law, sociology, psychology, government and politics without having studied them at A-level. Okay, however, I would advise that choosing to study them at A-level, whilst not absolutely essential for your degree, does give you a solid grounding in some of the key areas, and it gives you an understanding and an insight into what you will be studying. It allows you to make an educated and informed decision about whether you would like to spend 3 years of your life and a considerable sum of money studying that subject at university. So I hope that's helpful for you. So again, this slide just sets out why you might choose to study A-level law at York College, or equally why you might choose to study the Btec Applied Law course. In the law department, we do a lot of work to bring the law to life and to put it into real life situations. We take part in 6th form competitions, do lots of extracurricular activities, have visiting speakers, work with other university departments, and in normal times, when we're not in the middle of a global pandemic, we work closely with our placements teams to help students spend time in the Magistrates Court, which is a very busy criminal court, and to gain work experience in a wide range of different legal settings. So this rather busy slide just gives you some kind of visual ideas of what studying law involves and the types of topics we cover. You'll see crime scene, and so we study criminal law, we study the different types of courts, we study prison and sentencing, we study negligence, which is suing people for compensation. We study juries. 12 ordinary men and women are summoned to hear the cases of more serious trials in our Crown Courts. We study legal professionals, solicitors and barristers and judges. And that statue holding a sword and scales is a symbol of justice in the United Kingdom, and in particular in the English legal system. It shows how the law has to strike a fair balance between the different parties involved in the case, the different people. You can see Parliament, a picture of the Houses of Parliament. This makes laws called Acts of Parliament. You can see the police's role in law, the powers of the police to stop, search, arrest, etc. are all things that we will look at over the 2-year period. You'll also see a picture of the EU and how EU law used to affect English law, but no longer will do so, as we have now fully left the European Union on the 31st of December 2020. So here we have it, a slide with Judge Rudder on it. We don't want you to be put off about the fact that we've told you that studying law at A-level or BTEC is not very CSI or suits. We can talk about Judge Rudder in our course, and we can talk about loads of fascinating and interesting things and what's happening in real life law, in the courts, in Parliament, in the world around us. So what have I got to say about Judge Rudder? This slide sets out a bit of information about him, and it tells us why he's relevant to our course. Well, he's a qualified lawyer, a legal professional. He's a barrister. He also works as a part-time judge. Okay, so have a quick read of this and we'll move on. Year 11 students, I'd just like to quickly draw your attention to the fact that our current A-level exam board, OCR, the Oxford and Cambridge Exam Board, has produced a very useful document explaining why study law. The next slide has a link you can use to find the document, and we have also put a copy of the document with these PowerPoints, which you can print or read at your leisure. Thank you. So here it is. Here is the link to the A-level exam board's information sheet. Take a photo of the link on your phone if you'd like to look at it later, or perhaps show it to your parents or share this information with them. So now we're on to some important course information stuff. This is useful stuff for you to think about, but it's important to know and to note that you don't have to make a firm decision between our 2 different law options yet. 2 options, yes. Here at York College, we offer 2 different law options. We offer A-level law, which the college has taught for more than 20 years, and we also offer the Btec Applied Law, which we've been teaching for the last 3 or 4 years. Your application can say A-level law / Btec Applied Law, and your final decision can be made when you have your results and when you have finished your Year 11 year. Here are the 2 law options. Full details of both courses are available on the York College website. A-level law is the OCR, Oxford and Cambridge Exam Board course. We follow the 2020 new specification and the code is H418. You can do a 1-year course, which is the AS qualification, or the majority of students will continue into the second year and sit the full 2-year linear A-level qualification in law. The Btec Applied Law course is run by Pearson Edexcel. You can study for a 1-year certificate in applied law, or you can continue into the second year and study the extended certificate in applied law. Both qualifications are level 3 qualifications and attract UCAS points for entry to university. So on with our first law option. Our first law option is A-level law. A-level law has been taught at York College for over 20 years. It is taught by both members of staff, myself and my colleague Clive. It's a very popular subject here at York College. I'm often asked, well, if I choose A-level law, what subjects go well with it? What should I do with it? And the answer is, whatever you like, really. It goes well with everything. We do find that our students who are studying A-level law choose it with a wide range of other subjects, from the traditional English, maths, history, modern languages and sciences, to humanities courses such as politics, psychology, sociology, religion and ethics. We find that they do it with PE and arts-based subjects, ICT and computing, business studies and economics. The list goes on. You may also be interested to find out that our A-level law students go on to study a variety of different university courses with law as one of their A-levels, and they study at a wide variety of destinations. Some of our students will choose to do law at university or another law-related course such as criminology, criminal justice or policing, but equally their A-level law will take them onto a wide variety of degree courses at a wide variety of different universities. Increasingly, more and more of our A-level law students are applying for higher level apprenticeships at the end of year 13. This is a valid route into the law. It can, however, be very competitive and sought after. Students who study A-level law will also be eligible to follow this route as well as going to university. Here we have a slide summarising the course content for the first year of A-level law or for the 1-year AS qualification. You'll see that we study 4 different modules in the first year. We study the English legal system, and I'd urge you to have a quick read of all the things that we study in that module. And then we study lawmaking, which is essentially where do our laws come from and who or what makes them. Our third module is an introduction to criminal law. In the first year we learn some basic rules and ideas about criminal law, and we do a detailed study of non-fatal offences, which are essentially the offences of assault, battery, ABH, GBH, which stands for grievous bodily harm, and wounding. We also do an introduction to the law of tort, which this is a bit of a quick explanation, but it's essentially people suing each other for compensation. Now on to the second year of the full A-level. Look at that, it's flown in. This is what people who do the full A-level and go on to study the second year will cover. You'll see that there are 3 extra areas that we cover. We cover some additional criminal law, which includes murder and manslaughter, defences, which is essentially when people say it wasn't my fault cause, and so they've got a justification or an excuse about why they committed the crime. We look at property offences, theft, robbery, burglary and attempted crimes. We do some more tort law, which is neighbour disputes, people being responsible for their employees' negligence, and we also look at the defences in tort law. The third module in the second year is further law, and we study some big ideas about the law, and we look back across the whole course. We also do an introduction to human rights law, and we look at a person's right to liberty and security, their right to a fair trial, their right to privacy and a family life, the right to freedom of expression, and the right to freedom of assembly and association. And we look at how you enforce and protect your human rights. Don't worry, we're nearly at the end of this introductory presentation. This slide just gives you some information and a link to the exam board's website. This is the exam board for A-level law. On the site you can find some sample exam papers, the specification which details or outlines the whole course. Please note that A-level law, very similar to most GCSE subjects and the same as all humanities A-level subjects, including sociology, psychology, law, politics, ethics and RS, is an exam-based course. If you're doing the AS qualification, you will have 2 exams at the end of your first year. If you're proceeding to the full A-level, at the end of the second year, you will have 3 examinations. That is the same in sociology, psychology, politics, and religion and ethics. Oh no, I'm getting a bit repetitive and boring because I'm telling you again that the teaching staff in the law department at York College are not only qualified teachers, but they are also qualified lawyers. Where might studying A-level law take you? Well, I'd like to draw your attention to this photograph. The photograph is of Lorna, one of our former A-level law students. She studied A-level law with us here at York College. She went on to study law at Leicester University. She was very successful and secured funding and a scholarship to complete the professional stage of her training to become a barrister. Here we see her being called to the bar, which means being formally made a barrister. The bubble on this slide shows you where lots of our other A-level law students have gone to study law at university. You may have already attended one of our virtual open evening events. The law presentation contained clips from our present and former students telling you what they've enjoyed about A-level law, what they think they've gained from it, and for the former students, where it's taken them. If you weren't able to attend one of our previous virtual open evening events, why not look on the website and sign up to the next one? So here we are at our second law option. That option is the Btec Applied Law course. The Btec Applied Law course exam board is Pearson Edexcel. It is an alternative course to the A-level law course. The Btec Applied Law course is still a level 3 qualification which attracts UCAS points for university entry. There are some subtle differences between the 2 courses. These are, firstly, the entry requirements. There are different entry requirements for Btec Applied Law and A-level law. These are set out on the college's website. The second way in which the courses differ is the way in which they are assessed. The content taught is largely the same. Btec Applied Law is assessed through continued assessment, some pieces of written coursework throughout both years, but there is still an external assessment in time conditions, exam conditions, namely an exam at the end of each year too. The difference between the content is that on Btec Applied Law you do study a little more tort law, but the Btec Applied Law course does not cover any further law elements. It does not cover the A-level further law option, big ideas about law, nor any human rights. Neither course, A-level or Btec, is more business related than the other. Who would the Btec Law Applied course suit? Well, it's entirely up to you. I would read the details on the website and perhaps look at the exam boards for both. Btec is very well suited to those students who already have experience of doing level 2 Btecs in years 9, 10 and 11 at school. It is also very well suited to those who have experience of coursework-based subjects at GCSE. This is because you already know that you like and are suited to coursework-based subjects with continued assessment. It should also be noted that it may suit those who don't want to rely fully on examinations and would like a little bit of coursework too. I hope that's helpful for you. So hooray, we're nearly at the end of this long introduction. So we are going to ask you to select the next PowerPoint from law. We're going to ask you to select PowerPoint on police powers, which is item 2 on this list. This is our Taster Day lesson for 2021. We have a number of Taster Day lessons, but this year we've decided to attach and focus on our police powers of stop and search PowerPoint. It's number 2 in the list, and we would absolutely love you to watch it, and we really hope that you enjoy it. Please note that the police powers of stop and searching individuals on the street only relates to one small topic area in our course, in our very interesting, fascinating and varied law courses. We decided to teach you police powers because we thought you would find it interesting and informative. And if you go away today and you decide never to study law or to leave law behind, at least you will take with you some valuable, empowering and useful knowledge for life. Thank you so much for watching this introductory PowerPoint. We really hope you go on to watch our interactive next tasted session, and we hope that you have enjoyed and learnt a little bit more about the law. And if, having watched our introductory PowerPoint and having watched our exciting, fabulous, exhilarating, informative Taster Day lesson on police powers of stop and search, if after those 2 things you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email. My email address is on this slide, or alternatively you can address any questions to the college admissions team here at York College. Thank you, goodbye, take care.